Hello and welcome to Plainfield Public Library's Teen Curbside online program for the Chinese New Year. We'll be making an origami tiger. Michele Chang, is that how you pronounce it, Michele? I always get those things mixed up. Michele Chang will be, who is an origami expert, will be showing us how to fold a tiger out of origami paper, and also talking about some of the traditions of the Chinese New Year. So thank you so much for joining us today, Michele. And I am going to mute my video so I don't take over if I happen to make any noise, okay?
Okay. So I'm Michele. I'm actually coming in from Long Island. Jen reached out to me and asked me, well, she said she was looking for programs, and I said, oh, I can do origami. And then I realized that Tuesdays, this particular one was also Chinese New Year. So I figured it would be a nice little segue. So the Chinese New Year, as most of you may have noticed, tends to fall at different times every year according to our standard Gregorian calendar. The reason for that is because Chinese New Year falls at different times every year, kind of like the Jewish holidays, because like the Jewish calendar, Chinese New Year follows a lunar calendar. According to the Chinese calendar, it would be the year 4720, which, well, a lot of years.
I was about to say that, yes.
I think, though, that the Jewish calendar, I think the Jewish calendar has a few years more. Sarah, do you know?
Yes, I put it in the chat. It's 5782.
5782. So, that's how long you guys had without Chinese food, just saying. Sorry. Anyway, so like the Jewish calendar, for those of you that may be more familiar with it, in order to account for the discrepancy between the solar calendar, the solar year, and the number of moons in a year, every once in a while, usually about 7 to 8 years, but it requires serious calculations, right? The Chinese calendar will have a leap month to realign the calendar with the solar calendar. Otherwise, it just gets it can get out of whack, because there aren't exactly 12 there aren't 12 moon cycles every year. The Chinese calendar, the first day of the month starts with the new moon. So the full moon usually falls about the 15th of every month. There are stories, or there are recorded instances in Chinese history, where the calendar did fall completely out of whack, and a year had to have 2 leap months instead of just the normal one. There is a instance during the Yuan, it was at the end of the Yuan dynasty, where at the end of the Song dynasty, so 1290 something, thereabouts, in the 1290s. I don't remember the exact date, but they did have to put in 2 leap months. During the Yuan dynasty, which is when Genghis Khan, the Yuan dynasty was the Mongolian dynasty. So Genghis Khan, conquered about half the known world at the time. And then, but later on, it was his grandson that was the emperor of China, Kublai Khan. Kublai Khan actually had Jesuit priests recalculate the calendar to make it align back with the solar calendar. And this is kind of important because the people were like, whoever controls the calendar kind of is in charge, right? So the farmers were also planting their fields based on the calendar. So in an agrarian society, knowing when spring actually was is a little bit important. Now, moving away from the scientific aspects of it, the Chinese calendar also has a zodiac. Unlike the Western zodiac, which is you have a different theme or character for every month of the year. With the Chinese zodiac, it goes by year. Now there's 12 different animals there's 12 different animals in the Chinese zodiac. This happens to be the year of the tiger. The tiger is the third one in the series. Give me 1 second. I just realized that I can't actually recite the zodiac in English, which doesn't help. So with the Chinese zodiac, it starts with the rat, then it goes to the ox. Just FYI, you're going to hear people say year of the rat, year of the mouse. That's because in Chinese, it's the same character for rat versus mouse. The next one is ox, or you'll often hear it calling it the bull. Again, same animal. Then it's a tiger, which is this year. Then we go to the year of the rabbit, year of the dragon, snake, horse, goat. Again, you're going to hear sheep or goat. It's the same character in Chinese, like not. Written character. Oh, okay. Same word. Then you have the year of the monkey, year of the rooster. You'll also hear it called the year of the chicken. Then you have the dog, and finally the pig. Okay. Now, the way that this was determined is there's a couple of different stories. This is the one that I learned when I was a kid. The Jade Emperor wanted a way of separating all the different years. The Jade Emperor, in Chinese mythology or Chinese worldview, traditional Chinese worldview at any rate, it's probably more akin to, say, Greek or Norse mythology, where you have like the gods or whatever living in basically heaven. And then you have people living on earth. And then you have the underworld. In Greek mythology, it's Hades, right? So it's more a concept of Hades. So the idea is after people die, they go to Hades. It's not like, Christian theology where after you die, you go to heaven or you go to hell. Like after you die, everybody goes to Hades, okay? Okay, so the Jade Emperor is the ruler of heaven. He would probably be the equivalent of, say, Odin or Zeus, okay? I mean, the symbolism is all a little bit different. Like, he is not a thunder god, but for the purposes of this workshop, it works. So basically, he was trying to figure out how to tell the different years apart. So what he did was he called a meeting of all the animals, and he said, I want to name each year after you, a year after all of you. Tell me who should be tell me how you want to order this. And everybody jumped up and, argued and said, so Tiger said, I should be first because I'm the strongest. And Dragon said, no, I should be first because I'm the luckiest. And, so on and so forth. And Monkey said, I should be first because, I'm the most fun. And, and there was all these arguments. So the Jade Emperor said, all right, I don't have time to listen to this. We're going to have a race. Okay. And, the order by which you come in, the order you place in the race is how the years are going to go. So they have a race. Now, the ox in Chinese, traditionally in China, the main beast of burden was the ox. It's not like in the West where it's the horse. In a lot of farming communities, actually, a lot of people that, with people with farming backgrounds, a lot of them will not eat beef because because this is the animal that worked for you. You're hitching him to a plow and he's pulling your plow and he's working for you and he's working in his entire life for you. So it's kind of like, somebody like a Western farmer eating their horse. They don't, it's not really a family pet, but it's still like kind of part of the family. But anyway, so the ox is in front and he's trudging along, he's working hard and he's just moving along. Now they come up to a river and the rat is there and he sees the river and he says to the ox, oh, I'm so small, I'm not going to be able to cross the river, I'm going to drown. Can you help me? So the oxen is always very honest and he's very, the ox is very honest, he's very hardworking. So he says, okay, jump in my ear and I'll take you across. So, he trudges across, so he swims across with the rat in his ear, and then he continues on with the race. Now, oxen is very hardworking, but he's also not the brightest bulb in the, he's not the brightest bulb ever. So he forgets, and, he's so big, he doesn't notice this thing sitting in his ear. So he just keeps going. And at the finish line, as he approaches the finish line, the rat jumps out of the ox's ear and runs to the finish line. And so he's first. And that's why the rat is the first one, because the rat is very tricky. And that's how you get the rest of the animals. Tiger, he's leaping. Rabbit is very fast. Not like the rabbit in Aesop's Fable. He didn't take a nap. And, all the different animals, just like in Western astrology, they all have different meaning, like each sign has a different meaning. Year of the Tiger is supposed to be very courageous and, very hot tempered. That's me. I don't know about courageous, but definitely bad tempered. But, the dragon is supposed to be very lucky. The pig is supposed to be lazy. The rat and the monkey are both known to supposed to be tricky. The ox is from the story is very hardworking. It's interesting though, because there are a lot of homophones. So words that sound the same but have different meanings and are written differently. And the horse, there is a Chinese idiom it's called mama fufu, which means somebody that is very easygoing. So you attribute the horse sign to somebody that's very easygoing. Whether or not that's altogether true, I don't know, but there you go. This is why supposedly the horse and the tiger are supposed to be very good matches, because the tiger is very stubborn and very hot-tempered, while the horse is easygoing. So it's about the only match for the tiger. Harry is not Year of the Horse, though. Just saying.
Michelle?
Yeah.
Now, does each of these characters of the Zodiac have a constellation that they're associated with?
No.
Okay, so it's different that's different from the Western Zodiac.
Right. It's not linked to it's not linked to the stars.
Do you think you could tell us the names of the Zodiac in Chinese?
Okay. Su, Niu, Hu, Tu, Long, Se, Ma, Yang, Ho, Ji, Go, Zu. So Su is rat, Niu is ox, Hu is tiger, Tu is rabbit, Long is dragon, Se is snake, Ma is horse, Yang is goat, Ho is monkey, Ji is the rooster, Go is dog, and Zu is pig. Let's see. So, okay, moving on with more stories or beliefs. You probably know that firecrackers are a big part of Chinese New Year, actually most Chinese celebrations. The reason why firecrackers are such a big part of the celebration is because they make a loud noise, and it's supposed to scare away the evil spirits. There's a story about there was actually a evil demon called Nian. It's actually written the same way as you write year, and it sounds the same as year, like New Year, right? So he would come and he would eat people, and he would drag them away and he would eat them, and people were very scared. And then firecrackers, so then they started banging gongs and everything and making a lot of loud noise and a lot of lights. And firecrackers make a lot of noise and they make a lot of lights. So this was used to, and it's very bright, and it scared Nian away, and that's why you have firecrackers. It's supposed to mean good fortune, but it's good fortune because it's keeping the evil influences away, which is why you'll in Taiwan and other parts of Asia where there's a large Chinese presence, you're going to see at weddings, they have firecrackers, not just during the New Year. If you're opening a new business, like a new store, they're going to have firecrackers. I visited Taiwan once during Chinese New Year, never again. There are firecrackers going like 24/7. It's like, I'd like to go to sleep now, thank you. The idea of firecrackers too is they keep them going, right? Like I said, pretty much 24/7 during Chinese New Year. And one of the ways that you measure prosperity for the new year or prognosticate prosperity for the new year is the amount of firecracker wrappers that are in your yard at the end of Chinese New Year. So, that's why there are firecrackers going 24/7, because, you walk into your yard and, if you're knee deep in firecrackers, wow.
We sort of have that in the United States, where for the solar New Year, where people set off firecrackers, yes, and bang pots and shoot off guns, and everybody wishes they wouldn't.
Not just New Year, but say the 4th of July, right? as my husband puts it, wow, that's a great way of converting money into sound and light. Yeah. I don't know what it's like by you guys, but here on Long Island, I have friends, not necessarily where I live because it's pretty quiet where I live, but I have friends that live in other parts of Long Island, and they literally have like buckets of water and sand on standby because their neighbors are shooting things off. And, you know, if there's a drought going on, like during the 4th and it's like hot, they're literally on standby to put out anything that might fly into their yard. So, I mean, you know, there was a reason why Giuliani did put a ban on firecrackers for Chinese New Year when he was mayor, and that is actually still standing. If you go to Chinatown, I think they actually do it. Well, I don't know if they're doing it during the pandemic, but in Chinatown in Manhattan, what they do is because, you know, New York City does recognize the importance of firecrackers for the Chinese New Year celebration. They just don't want the city to burn down. What they do is there's a park in New York City where they set up like all these firecrackers, and then you can go there and watch, and, you know, they'll light everything off, which is, I've never been. I personally am not that fond of firecrackers, but you can go and see them. Another tradition, so Chinese New Year greetings, you would say 恭喜发财, which means congratulations and good fortune, or 发财 means to like make a lot of money, like, so it means like congratulations and prosperous new year. Okay. The other one is 新年快乐, which is Happy New Year. Those are two things that you would say during the new year. I have the other one is there's red envelopes. So what you do is during the new year, you have to bow to your parents, and you wish them a happy new year. And and it's not just bowing to the parents, but you would bow to like grandparents, relatives, if you go visiting, friends of family, whatever. And as long as you're unmarried, probably why I didn't marry for so long, they would give you a red envelope. And the red envelope, these red envelopes typically have cash in them. I mean, if you're visiting family, like if you're visiting like a friend of the family or whatever, there's typically like a token amount, maybe like $5, $10, whatever, like not, you know, nothing huge, but depending on, you know, like, so then parents, grandparents, aunts and uncles, depending on, you know, both the family situation of everyone involved, there would usually be more substantial sum, kind of like, you know, are you getting you know, the latest PS whatever for Christmas, or, you know, whatever, your birthday, or, you know, that's something that, you know, your parents or your grandparents might give you, some, you know, like a computer system, right? Versus like, you know, your aunt or uncle, you know, they might give you, you know, games for that system, or I don't know, socks, right? But again, it depends on, you know, the relationship. Now these have Chinese characters written on them. This one says, Xing Shang Shi Chen. So it basically says, may you succeed in what you like, may you succeed in what you wish for. So Xing Shang is your imagination, or your thought, or your, you know, what you're thinking of, and Shi Chen is to succeed at what you're thinking of, right? So this one is, these two are a more common, these two are not just for Chinese New New Year. These are more general ones. So 大事大礼, basically it means, you know, big deeds like large gift. 万事如意. Okay, 万事如意 is 10,000 things according to your wish, according to your desires. So may you achieve your 10,000 desires, basically. I mean, it's all like very good. It's all like very good fortune stuff, right? Like wishing, you know, wishing you well. The fu is this, you're going to see this a lot. This is just like good fortune, good luck, like, you know, good luck in general. Now, you're on Chinese decorations, you're going to see a lot, oftentimes a lot of fish. And you see this, this is a yuanbao, which is a Chinese ingot, which looks, which this is a chocolate one, you know, kind of like Hanukkah gilt. But this is a Chinese ingot, and they would cast gold and silver in these shapes, and they were standardized shapes. And so the reason why you would see fish is because, like I said before, there are a lot of puns in the Chinese language, and one of the things that you say in China, in the New Year is 年年有余. So every year, because the word 鱼 means plenty, and it also means fish, right? So by serving a fish, it's like you're wishing people plenty and a prosperous year. Your shrimp is also served during the Chinese New Year because the shape of it looks like a smile. Right, so happiness. Let's see. I have it here. Oh, here we go. This one has an orange on it, right? These two have. That's a. Oh, yeah, they're both mandarin oranges. So the reason why you see oranges is because what you call oranges are 橘子 or 橘. 橘 means is a homophone for to raise, right? So you would have oranges, and you give people oranges because you want them to be raised up, like promoted in the new year. But yeah, so there are a lot of puns. Another tradition is wearing new clothes. People, you know, way back when, people didn't have it. Clothes took a lot of time to make, and they were very expensive. So if you worked for a, you know, if you were a servant in a large household, that would be when you would get your new, like your annual suit of clothing would be during the new year. You know, you also try and wear something red for the new year, because that's good luck. Going back to the calendar, everybody's age goes up by 1 year on Chinese New Year. You don't count how old you are by your birth date, but by the, I think like they do that with horses, like January 1st, the horse is another year old, doesn't matter when it was born. Well, the other thing is babies are called 1 year old at birth. So, so if you're going by a more traditional, if your family is more traditional, the year that somebody says they might actually be a year younger by the Western calendar. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, like by the time you get old like me, it's all the same. Now, so, you know, I touched, I'm going to go back to foods during the new year, some things. So first, in northern China, the staple grain is wheat. Okay. In southern China, the staple grain is rice. Okay. So in northern China, people make dumplings for the New Year, like, you know, the pot sticker, the crescent shaped dumplings, because they look like yuanbao, like ingots. So, northern tradition too is the people making the dumplings, usually grandma, would hide like a piece of money, like a coin, in one of the dumplings, right? And then whatever kid gets the dumpling is like going to be extra lucky that year. Hopefully they don't break a tooth. I mean, it's kind of like the king cake tradition, right? Whoever gets the bean. My family is from southern China, but I have some friends from northern China, and they said basically what because everybody's like worried about, like, you know, dirty germs, all that other stuff. Their mom would just get like poker chips, put them through the dishwasher, and like put like, you know, a couple of poker chips in the dumpling filling. And, you know, therefore it was, yeah, it's plastic, but at least it's clean plastic. You know, we all make adjustments for modern life. I did grab a pack of these to say that this particular symbol is the double happiness symbol, and you would not use these particular red envelopes for Chinese New Year, because they are specifically for weddings. And you could tell that by the heart, but just FYI, in case you ever want to give a red envelope. So in southern China, the staple grain is rice. So you make rice cakes instead. So tonight for dinner, I actually had rice cakes. Let me see. Can I share my screen? Can I present my? Oh, share.
You should be able to. Let me see.
Oh wait, I did. I found it. Screen to share. Look, you can see my notes. Okay. Google Calendar. Photos. Okay. So, these are red bean rice cakes that I made today. How they're served is they're cut into slices, dipped in egg, and then pan fried. But these rice cakes are also called niangao. Again, there's that pun going on because you have nian, which is year, but it also means sticky. Okay, these particular cakes are made from sticky rice or sweet rice or glutinous rice. It's very, very sticky, and it's basically, if you ever had mochi, it's made from the same rice, but these are called niangao, which are New Year cakes. Gao means cake, but it is also the homonym for gao, meaning high. So if by eating these, you want the year to be high, or again, it's like a promoting thing, like elevation, that kind of thing. So
You raise your year or something?
Yeah, like raise up your year, or that
Michelle, you're not showing your pictures anymore. I just wanted you to know that.
Oh, it's not showing my pictures anymore.
It's showing your outline.
Oh, whoops, sorry. Oh, that's why, because I moved it.
But there we go.
Oh, I see. I want to go like this. Okay. And then let's see, what else do we have?
So today is the New Year's Day.
Today is the first day of the New Year. It actually lasts for 15 days. This is a savory rice cake. The little ovals here, those are rice cakes. Again, I have shrimp in there because it looks like a smile. You want like greens. You're looking for a lot of different colors. It is also, I mean, they're all like some sort of prosperity kind of good luck symbol. So on the 15th, so on the last day of Chinese New Year, which is the full moon, it's also called the Lantern Festival that day. But what you do eat that day, they're called tangyuan, or they're basically these round, sticky rice dumplings. They're about, oh, all right, let's see. They're about that big. They're about the size of like a walnut, or pink, maybe a little bit smaller than a ping pong ball. They can have savory or sweet fillings. We usually have sweet fillings, and they're eaten in soup, and they're round because it's the full moon. It signifies the last day of Chinese New Year. Let's see. The other thing is, you're okay. Good. I'm disconnected. I'm not. Am I still sharing?
You are still sharing, so if you just choose stop sharing at the top.
Stop it. No, that's not what I want. Oh, stop share. Okay. Okay, so those are like rice cakes. There's pomegranate, blah, blah, blah. All right, so I pretty much ran through that stuff. So now we're gonna make origami tigers, okay? Origami, the word itself is a Japanese word that's been borrowed by English. Origami is a large part of Chinese culture as well, but because, you know, paper was invented in China during the Han Dynasty, so about 200 AD, and then from there it traveled west. But anyway, let's start with making tigers. I'm gonna make the face first. There's 2 pieces of paper, okay? So you've got the head, and then you've got the body, and I mean, I taped them together. I think the kit has glue dots in them or something. Anyway, you start with a piece of paper. Hopefully you actually have orange paper. I don't, so you're gonna take your paper, colored side up, and you're gonna fold it in half so you have a triangle. You do want to try and make, you know, your folds as even as possible. Then you're going to rotate your paper, and you're going to make another, you're going to fold it in half again on the diagonal. Once you're done, you open it up, and you should have an X in the middle of your paper.
Okay, so we unfold it and then fold it again, right?
Yes. Yes. So you should have an X in the middle of your paper when you're done.
Like this, Michelle? I don't know if you can see
Yes.
my, okay.
Now what you're going to do is you're going to take your paper and you're going to turn it over. Okay, so it's white side up. And what you're going to do is you're going to fold your paper in half to make a rectangle. There's a bunch of different ways of making this. This is actually called what we're aiming for is, you're going to see it called a preliminary base a lot. There's a bunch of different ways of making this. I just find that this is like the neatest way. Fold that in half. Then you're going to rotate your paper and you're going to fold it in half again. And what you're going to get is you're going to have a plus sign in the middle of the paper. While I'm waiting for everyone, I do want to point out, very good. I do want to point out that the traditions that I ran through, they're very general, but different people, depending on where people are from in China, when their families emigrated to the United States, there may be variations in individual traditions and reasons for why people say they do the exact same thing. I mean, you guys are in New Jersey. I gotta tell you, the stuff that the sandwich that you call sloppy joes, that's not what we call sloppy joes in the United States. Like, I mean, in New York, right? Because I grew up in Westchester, and sloppy joes are like this tomatoey meat sauce on a hamburger bun. But in New Jersey, I lived in New Jersey for a while, and I was quite astonished the first time somebody served me a sloppy joe. It was very good, but it's like triple decker.
What was
It's
it?
like lunch meat and coleslaw in this triple decker sandwich. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's a South Jersey thing or like it's a Central Jersey thing, but yeah, you know. So
Like
it's like you guys are also, what?
Goulash in the place I grew up looks nothing like, tastes nothing like Hungarian goulash or anything else that anybody makes as goulash.
Right. I mean,
So,
and
yeah.
and New Jersey is close enough to Pennsylvania that you know the argument between hoagies and subs, right? Like, you know, so I'm just saying that, you know, if you meet somebody and they say, "Oh, I don't do that," okay, you know,
China's a big country.
Yes, China is a very big country, and also it's interesting because I was just talking to my friend who is from Mongolia, and you know, I was saying, "Oh yeah," because I was like trying to figure out if every once in a while between Mongolia, Tibet, and China, the leap months do not sync up. So it takes like a year for like the holiday to sync up again. Because, and it's entirely political, right? Because who controls the calendar has the power, right? So
Camera's
they
going a
don't
little
necessarily
nuts.
want to follow the Chinese calendar. So they'll take an extra month to sync up, or an extra year to sync up. But actually, she told me that Mongolian New Year, the first day is tomorrow, not today. So most of East Asia celebrates the Lunar New Year on the same day. The Japanese do not, because during the Meiji Restoration, they converted over to the Western calendar and they don't celebrate the Lunar New Year anymore. However, Korea, Vietnam still do. Tibet and Mongolia they do as well. They may not use the same date though. Thailand, I believe, celebrates the Lunar New Year as well. Anyway. Oh, so now what you want to do is you're going to take your paper, okay, and you're going to turn it over so it's colored side up. You're going to grab the two opposite sides, and you're going to push into the center. And when you do that, you should have this, you're going to end up with this pointy thing, you see? And then you're just going to flatten it. Okay. Yep. Now what you want to do is when you're holding your paper, you want to make sure that the mouth, the open part, is facing you. Okay, so the closed part is pointed away from you. Okay, now there's two flaps inside your square. Okay, you're going to hold the paper between your two fingers and you're going to lift up. Okay, now there aren't really any landmarks to this, but I'm going to tell you what you're making is you're making the ears. So depending on how big you want the ears to be in relation to the face, that's where you're going to make this crease. And then once you're done, you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Now, to make sure that the ears are the same size, the pivot point on the inside, you kind of want to try and match that.
Excuse me, can you go back one step, please? We're trying to keep up, but it's a little.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Oh, can you
Go back?
Yes, one step.
Okay.
Thank you.
So looks like this. you're going to open up your paper. You're going to grab this and you're just going to push it up. This is called a reverse fold. And then you're going to flatten it. And that makes 1 year. And then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. It looks like this on the inside. If you ever made the flapping bird, this is basically how you make the neck. I mean, it's the same fold that you do for the neck and the tail, but you just got a wider piece of paper because you're making ears, not a neck and tail. Let me see that here.
If you want, I can stop the recording and then you can show Michele and your video.
Yes, please. That would help us out a lot. Thank you.
Okay. So how are we doing this?
Okay, so the next step is you're going to take the top layer and you're going to fold it up.
But not all the way.
Yeah, so this makes the cat's muzzle, right? So that makes this part of the cat. And then you're going to take the tip and you're going to fold it down to make the nose. Okay, so now you kind of have a face. Yep, and then you're going to take this bottom piece and you're going to fold it up, and that makes his little mouth. So his chin isn't too pointy. Jolani, are you with me?
Yes, I am with you.
Awesome. Okay. Next, what you're going to do is this part on top, because cats don't have or tigers, their heads aren't completely pointy. You're going to fold it. You're just going to fold it back just to flatten out the head. Okay. And now you've finished making the head.
And is this where we would draw the eyes and the whiskers and stuff?
Yeah, I usually make the body and then draw everything together, but
Okay, cool.
okay. So next you're going to take your other piece of paper. This is very easy. You fold it in right side up. You fold it in half. So you have a triangle, okay? I like to put the head, kind of like position it on the body, and then you just take this top layer and you fold it up. That makes like the leg, sort of. It just gives the body a little bit more shape. You take this piece here. I just fold it up. I mean,
Underneath.
yeah, I just fold it up
Take
underneath.
it part way and fold it up.
Yeah, and that makes the tail. Then then I just put the head and the body together, and I will, you want to kind of think about how you want the head position, because depending on how the head is tipped, you could get it could look ferocious, it could look, cute, like it, and then you just tape it together.
Yeah, I apologize. The tape didn't get in the
Whatever.
kit. So hopefully you guys have some tape at home.
Yeah, I mean, I have packing tape. So anyway, I'm just gonna tape. I'm just gonna tape this together like that. Okay.
So you're going to tape it on the back, like here?
Yeah, I just stuck it together.
Okay, thank
I
you.
mean, as long as they doesn't fall, like here, as long as it doesn't fall apart, it's as long as the head doesn't pop off, it's fine. Okay, now you can get creative and draw the eyes and the stripes. So it's up to you.
There's a black crayon in your kit for this.
What?
There's a black crayon in the kit.
Oh, awesome.
For this.
Okay.
Mine has weird eyes. Definitely weird eyes.
So, this particular tiger, I'm going for, mean, evil, going to eat you tiger.
Mine looks like it went for a smoky eye.
Yeah. Yeah, I have Smokey the tiger. Oh, I don't know if you can see, but behind me, I have my rabbit's pen, and my rabbit is notoriously evil.
I didn't tape my body on, so I'm just going to show you, I'm going to try to show you there's my tiger.
Yay!
Thanks,
You have
Michelle.
a very
This is
tigery
cool.
tiger. There you go.
Yes,
Cool.
with a smoky eye.
This is very cool. Thank you so much, Michelle.
You're welcome.
And
Um,
I'm going to just say, if anybody who's watching this, the kit also came with some of that strawberry candy, which is a traditional candy. Is that right?
yeah. I don't know. Like, I mean, it's always shows. It's called Lucky Candy, and it's one of those things that you
do.
That you
yeah,
always
it's one of
get.
the things that you do. I mean, basically, when I have Chinese New Year parties, which obviously isn't happening this year, again, I use these red envelopes for like goodie bags, and I'll put candy and a couple of coins or something in here, and mostly what I'm looking for in the candy that I put in here is like, it's supposed to have a bright wrapping. These are just lucky enough that they actually taste good.
Oh, that's good.
Because there are, like, one year I got these shiny candies. I got them because the wrappers were shiny. I put it in there. I actually tried a candy, and I was handing these to people going, well, I just put them in here because they're shiny and it's lucky, but I'm like, don't actually eat them.
That's why I thought these were not good to eat.
No, these actually taste good. These actually taste good.
The ones I got seem to be pretty good.
Because I had some friends over after the new year, and I was like, oh, here, I have some extra ones. And I did warn them, like, don't eat the candy. And this one person came late, and he ate the candy. And I mean, I told him, don't eat the candy. And he ate the candy. And all of a sudden we hear from the other room, like, oh my God, Michelle, these are disgusting. Why would you give these to people? And like, literally every woman in the room turns and was like, why did you put that in your mouth? She already said they were disgusting. And he was like, but it's candy. How bad could it be? And
obviously that bad.
The answer to that I heard was, well, now you know.
So Michelle,
Yeah.
In a minute, I want to stop the recording so we can see what Jelani, how Jelani's went out. But did you have something else you wanted to tell us about?
Nope, that's it. Anybody have any questions?
I have one question. Oh, Sarah, you go first.
Okay, so way back in the beginning, we were talking about the lunar years, and you mentioned that the Chinese calendar has a leap month in order to correct it. And the Jewish calendar does too. And this is a leap year. So there's an extra month of Adar in the Jewish calendar. And I'm wondering if this is a leap year for the Chinese calendar too.
No, it happened a couple of years ago. You can usually tell that a leap month occurred because the Chinese New Year is happening rather early.
Okay.
I mean, it's like you could probably tell when when Rosh Hashanah starts to fall like close to November. Am I getting it mixed up with Yom Kippur? But
no. That's exactly right. When the prime holidays that people know about start creeping up earlier and earlier in the calendar, you know that a correction is coming.
Yeah. So yeah, so like, you know, when you've got so yeah, so right. So Hanukkah happened like rather early this year.
Yeah, it was.
So that's how, okay. So like you said, that's when like a correction should be happening soon.
Yeah.
Right. I don't remember how many years it is that they correct. It's got to be the same.
It's probably around every 7 to 8 years, because
I
even
think
though there's
so.
2 different calendars, we're still going by the same moon and sun.
Yes, exactly.
It's typically
exactly.
every 7 to 8 years, but again, like sometimes things just get out of whack and you got to stick another month in there.
Yep.
So Michelle, what's the polite thing to say if you're talking to somebody who is Chinese for the new year? Do you say Happy New Year?
Happy New Year.
Okay.
Happy New Year.
You can say Happy New Year, because it's not like, you know, it's not like the Jewish New Year where you're repenting. We're celebrating. We're celebrating for 2 weeks.
You celebrate at Rosh Hashanah, you are celebrating. It's just Yom Kippur that you're not celebrating that one day.
Okay, so that's the fast, but yeah. You could say Happy New Year.
Okay. And if you could wish somebody a prosperous new year?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Can you tell us again what that greeting was that had prosperous in it, only in Chinese? 恭喜发财. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to stop recording now. Michele, thank you so much on my behalf, on behalf of the Plainfield Public Library, for doing this program and for allowing us to record you. If anybody is interested, we do have some printouts of Michelle's handout with instructions to give away at the library, instructions for the cat mask and other origami patterns. Thank you again.
You're welcome.